Hey everyone, it's Dr. Rick, founder of Herbal411.com. So I'm giving you an invite. In fact, if you're a patient of mine, then you know I invite you every time I take my folks out to national parks or local forest preserves. If you're not a patient of mine, you probably should turn this off. And if you do want to continue watching, this is only for educational purposes, so you can take some notes and take the information to your doctor and see what they say. Or you can click the link down below to Herbal411.com and become a patient of mine, even if you're not in the state of Illinois. So the idea is always, if we have found a disease process, or if we have found some of your symptoms are actually an expression of high blood pressure, obesity, high cholesterol, or early diabetes, don't worry. I mean, whether I give you medicines or I give you several herb supplements, or give you some ideas on nutrition and exercise, control the disease before it progresses with something quick. And that could be a couple supplements, that could also be a prescription. But that's not where we stop. That's just to control the symptoms and what you're feeling. The next job, once we get that control, is to reverse how you got here. Even if you don't exercise or do exercise and watch your nutrition or don't watch your nutrition, something in the last decade or two has led you to this point. My suggestion is don't change too much of what you've been doing for the last decade or two, but it might not be serving you anymore, so it might need to be manipulated a little bit, and that's where the beauty of lifestyle change comes in. This is my backpack that I typically bring out to national parks when I take my folks out. These are my walking sticks or hiking sticks. I'm going to be taking a group this weekend. 16th of July, I'll be going to Fullersburg Woods. It's a small forest preserve. It is cute. It's a loop of sorts, but I'll map out a trajectory so that we can get or squeeze out about 3.5, maybe 4 miles. Most of you who do walk or hike or run, 4 miles is nothing. If you don't do any of that stuff, 4 miles will be somewhat of a challenge, but honestly, we're not going to be doing things at massively fast speed. We'll be doing about a 2.5 to 3 mile an hour pace, which is pretty good. It's like walking fast in the mall. It's soft, the trails are nice, there is overhead or at least a canopy of sorts, and there's probably going to be rain on Friday, so I'd be prepared for mosquitoes on Saturday morning. The cooler it is, the less mosquitoes there are, but just be prepared. With a 3 to 4 mile hike, having this empty is not going to be a challenge, and that's why I would suggest this time that we're going to try to develop strength. And strength will only come if you give a load or if you force some kind of stress on your body. This is my weight vest. I've done a couple of videos with this weight vest. It's so old, my straps have broken already, but I've been using that for about 2 decades. And I'll throw it in my backpack. To put it on, you get all sweaty, so it's just nicer to get accommodated to how the straps feel. It mimics, I think, if we're just going to go, say, 2 hours of hiking, I can actually run that or hike it without breaking a sweat. So I want to be training my guys that are going to Zion National Park this September. So I want you to develop a little bit of endurance, which is what you should be doing already. And endurance is just repetitively doing the same thing over and over again. And lengthening the challenge. And hopefully cardiovascular endurance will come about when we get to September if you keep on training and increasing your mileage every week. But for the reversal of disease, I think strength is very important to consider. And strength won't come with just putting miles in. Strength will come when you add weight. Unfortunately, that's just the whole thing. And I know a lot of people that don't exercise despise weight training, and that's fine. I just happen to be a bodybuilder from age 18, and I resonate with weight training. I also resonate with running. I've done 2 marathons. I don't like running. I joke about that all the time. But I think it's a necessary evil, because if you have high blood pressure or some kind of cardiovascular disease, you really have to do endurance, because that will really help with increasing nitrous oxide, helps with vascular tone so that you can actually lower blood pressure. The bigger your blood vessels are, the lower your blood pressure becomes. The tighter your blood vessels are, the higher your blood pressure. And usually when you do endurance exercise, it's very healthy for the lining of the cardiovascular system. It increases nitrous oxide, and that stuff increases diameter. So in a nutshell, cardiovascular endurance will help with blood pressure. The unfortunate problem is I'm going to be 60, and a lot of my fellow 60-year-olds are at high risk for osteoporosis and fracturing. I was just at the beach watching an average 60-year-old American get off of those low-lying chairs at the beach that you put your feet in the water. I mean, these guys were struggling or they needed help from their kids, and I don't think I was much older or younger than those guys. You know that's going to be catastrophic probably in another decade, because the longevity is associated with certainly low blood pressure, low heart rate, but it also is associated with the speed at which you can get up from the floor and jump height. So that all involves power, control, and strength. If you don't practice that or stress or challenge your body, and that's got to be musculoskeletal. If you don't challenge, then how do you expect to change that variable? If you don't change the variable, then disease is coming your way fast. If you change the variable, develop your strength, maybe increase also your power later on. You don't have to get into hypertrophy like I like. Sometimes it comes later. If you add all those things, I really think you can push back your death rate or your death age. It's like those tests you take online, predict your age, and you put down your weight, your activities, your nutrition, cholesterol, and your blood pressure, and it tells you what your chronological age is. It's shocking when you're, say, 60 and you test out to be a 70 or 80-year-old, or it's even more shocking when you're in your 30s and you come out to be 60. That's bad. But that's what happens when you have massive disease. You're aged. When you're young and have a couple of tiny diseases, you're aged. And it'll take you to possible disease presentation faster. That's why I always say lifestyle is the hardest to stick with, but the easiest to manipulate. You can also take a pill if you want, or have surgery, that too. That doesn't change too much except for controlling symptoms. So bottom line is, I'd like you to consider coming out with my group on Saturday. We're going to meet at approximately 7:30 at Fullersburg Woods, and I'll put the map coordinates of where we're going to meet. I would bring a backpack so you get used to backpack, and plus you can put your mosquito stuff in there, you can put your water, you can put your food, you can bring a weight vest if you wanted to, or if you don't have a weight vest, don't go buying one. Just get 2 gallons of water sealed. Don't get those pop tops because they pop off and then you'll have a wet backpack. Get 2 gallons of water. That's about 16 plus pounds. More if you want, and that'll give you a little bit of resistance too, so anything is helpful. Then you can drink the water too. The bottom line is, if you're going to be wanting to create a better body, develop more strength, you don't have 5 hours to hike and develop endurance, do a shorter amount of hiking, but put some resistance in somewhere. And the resistance can come in a backpack that's weighted. If you're going to do that, you have to bring sticks. I know some people don't like bringing walking sticks, but 1 to 2 hours of a weight on your back will usually change your posture, and this will fix your posture so you can get the most out of your core. Oh, it doesn't make it easier, it just fixes your posture. Or if you wanted to, come out with me and do steps. I do weight with steps at Palos Hills. Sometimes I'll do weight at incline. There's no steps at Mount Hoy and Blackwell Forest Preserve, but it's just an incline, and I'll do that too. In fact, we'll probably be doing that in a couple weeks if you want to join us. Whether you are an avid hiker or not, it's just nice to hang out with other people who like to do the same thing versus just hiking on your own. And bring your dogs if you have to, as long as you have the pooper scooper. But, come on out, and if you don't know the schedule, just sign up either on Facebook, Dr. Rick Hiking Excursions, or you go to my Herbal 411 website and I'll have a link that you can sign up with, and I can send an email blast out every time we go for a hike. I am personally trying to stay healthy, get outside, get some nature therapy. It's always nice to also see my warriors, my patients, make success. Some of my patients don't like going to the gym, and that's fair. Some of my patients don't like doing cardio, and that's fair too, but I think hiking is effortless and it's fun. And when you're with a group of people, it makes it tolerable. When you get out to a national park, it makes it bucket list. Please consider coming out, or you can just watch our videos that I post every once in a while and get out on your own too. Even if you're not in Illinois, get out if you can on a regular basis. You can train muscles every day if you want to increase your endurance. Hypertrophy, you might have to get some rest time, but if we're just working on endurance and strength, you can actually train every day. Again, you're not going to get hypertrophy, you're not going to get big muscles like some young people are trying to shoot for, but hey, if you're going to be 60, I don't think we really care about muscles. I think we just care about the dynamics of pushing back the diseases. Can't tell you how many times I've felt a little bit of reflux and I thought, uh-oh, am I having a heart attack? God darn. Nobody wants to feel that. Nobody wants to think that, especially middle of the night. Nobody wants to actually experience that. And the only way to avoid that is to invest in lifestyle change. Even if your cardiologist saves you, the next one's coming. So you have to make the changes. So thanks for watching up until this point in time. If you have any comments, or if you're not near us and you have a question about how to hike, how to introduce exercise to your life, what kind of equipment to buy. I love going to REI. In fact, there is an REI just north of the Fullersburg Woods place. That's the Oak Brook REI. I love those guys. If you don't know how to fit yourself for a backpack, the guys there are great. And you can always return stuff too. Think about subscribing to my YouTube channel because I put these videos out all the time. Stay healthy and I'll see you at the next video.